What's up guys, my name is Levi, this is Shred Shop connecting you to skateboarding. And today we are doing 14 things you didn't know about Etnies. In this video, we're going to cover the start, the team, the videos, the technology, and Emerica, so much more. Pierre Andre. Pierre Andre starts skateboarding in the suburbs of Paris at 15 years old. He decides to make the move to California at Venice Beach and he ends up homeless. He does skateboard demos on the Venice boardwalk each day for money, and eventually, a year later, he becomes a pro skateboarder. He also wins the Freestyle World Championships for skateboarding. The start. In 1986, a shoe company called Etnics is started. The word ethnic comes from the word ethnic, and it's a nod to skateboarding as a subgenre. The company is started by a French fashion brand called Roturo Apple. Not long after, they have to change the name because there's another shoe company called Etonic. They were too close in name, so thus Etnies was born. Around this time, Pierre Andre becomes a pro skateboarder for the brand. In 1989, Pierre Andre buys out a portion of the brand, making it the very first skater-owned shoe company. Natas. Natas is a pro skater from Santa Monica, California, and he was originally a pro surfer. He is a pioneer in street skateboarding, along with Gonz and Julian Stranger. He's also the inventor of the Natas spin. Natas and Etnies designed the world's first ever pro skateboard shoe called the Natas in 1987. The shoe was based off of a French basketball high-top shoe by a brand named Ellesse. These Ellesse high-top basketball shoes were made popular by Jim T, Natas, and Mickey Reyes. You can see Natas wearing these shoes in the Santa Cruz Streets on Fire video. A year later, AirWalk actually releases a very similar shoe called the Prototype. A fun fact, Natas actually had his pro shoes banned from a bunch of stores and schools because his name spelled backwards is Satan. Etnies Emerica. In 1989, Pierre Andre retires from pro skateboarding and starts distributing Etnies and Emerica. Etnies USA is born and it is ran purely by Pierre Andre, and it becomes the first skater-owned shoe company. Pierre Andres actually got the licensing deal from Roturo Apple to be able to start Etnies in the USA. At this point, he starts running ads in skateboard magazines like Transworld and starts putting together a team. They also start advertising in 1993 in the first issue ever of 411 VM. In 1994, Pierre changes the name from Etnies USA to Etnies Emerica and starts restructuring the brand. At a trade show, Sal went into an Etnies booth and tried to get a pair of shoes from the Etnies booth of what used to be the Natas high top. In the booth, Pierre won't sell the shoe to Sal because he doesn't know who he is. Later on in the night, they run into each other and they get introduced. And then at that point, Pierre tells Sal, hey, come hit me up later and I'll give you a pair of these shoes. In 1990, Sal Barbier is added to the Etnies team. While Sal is riding the shoes, he's cutting down a ton of the old Natas shoes, cutting off the high tops. At the same time, he's giving Pierre a ton of tips and a ton of points to be able to help improve the shoes and how they're made. Sal was really into fashion, so he liked the look of Jordans and Adidas, but he didn't like the sole to skate. But then he looked at skate brands like AirWalk and he felt the shoes were too bulky, almost potatoes on your feet. So he puts input on making a low top shoe that is fully skatable. And in 1994, the Sal 23 is born. His roommate, Ken Block from DC, came up with the idea to put a 23 on the shoe to pay homage to Jordan. Fun fact, later on, Ken Block started DC with help from Pierre, who made their first shoes. You can find out more about this in our 14 things you didn't know about DC video. The Sal 23 is the #1 selling Etnies shoe of all time. Etnies High Five video. Etnies releases their first ever video featuring Chad Muska, Chris Sen, Dandra Hobel, Darren Navarrete, Chad Fernandez, Eric Koston, Jamie Thomas, Mark Johnson, Peter Smolik, and Tom Penny. S. In 1995, Etnies decides to start S Footwear, which is a more technical design of Etnies shoes. People actually think the name S stands for Etnies Supreme, but it actually is just the first and last letter of Etnies, and they just added the accent mark above the E just to make it look fancy. They took a bunch of the really good team riders from Etnies and brought them over to S to make a star team. The original S team was Sal Barbier, Bob Burnquist, Ronnie Creager, Eric Koston, Chad Muska, Tom Penny, and Paul Sharp. Emerica. In 1994, Etnies USA changed its name to Etnies Emerica and starts restructuring the brand. In 1996, Roturo Apple, the original owners of Etnies, put the brand up for sale. At this time, they had a lot of interest in buyers for the brand, including brands like Nike and some of the big sportswear brands. Pierre is worried at the potential of the sale of Etnies in France that he might lose his licensing deal with Etnies Emerica. So with the next order of shoes, he actually changed all the logos to a new brand called Emerica and had them shipped over. In the spring of 1996, there is no Etnies to be found in the USA. All there is Emerica shoes, and that's how the brand is born. Pierre ends up getting full control over Etnies as Roturo Apple realizes that they can't really do it without Pierre, and so he buys the brand, he has full control, and then he keeps Emerica, the shoe brand, on as a core skate brand. STI Labs. In 2003, Etnies launches the Seoul Technologies Institute, or the STI Labs. It's the first of its kind of a huge research and development facility where they study the biomechanics of skateboarding and basically how our bodies react and use shoes. Seoul Tech is the umbrella company that owns STI Technologies, Emerica, and Etnies, all under the same umbrella. International Go Skateboarding Day. Some of the people at Etnies decided that they wanted to have a day just for skateboarding. Just like there's International Cat Day, International Pancake Day, all those sorts of things, they decided let's make a day just for skateboarders. They choose June 21st because it is the longest day of the year, and it's a day that everyone should take off work and go skateboarding with their friends. Emerica also follows up with their Wild in the Streets events where they travel around the world and they do different events on Go Skateboarding Day. Etnies Team. Over the years, Etnies has had a ton of heavy hitters, including people like Ardo Sari, Sean Malto, Rodney Mullen, Mark Gonzalez, Tom Penny, Chad Muska, Mike V, Eric Koston, Jason Lee, Jamie Thomas, Andrew Reynolds, Mike Caro, Jason Dill, Ryan Sheckler, and many more. Etnies Skatepark. In 2003, Soltech designs and partially finances Etnies Skatepark in Lake Forest, California. At the time, it was one of the largest concrete skate parks in the United States. And it was a big deal because it was the first time a brand had built a skate park in order to give back to the skateboard community. Etnies album. In 2018, they released a full-length video with team riders Matt Berger, Chris Joslin, David Reyes, Jamie Tansoni, Samaria Bavard, Ryan Sheckler, Trevor McClung, Willow, Nick Garcia, Ryan Lay, Aiden Campbell, and Barney Page. It was filmed and edited by Mike Manzuri, who you might know from a bunch of the early Emerica videos. Modern Etnies. Etnies is still going today, and their current skate team consists of Chris Joslin, Barney Page, Aiden Campbell, Matt Berger, Ryan Sheckler, Trevor McClung, Nick Garcia, Willow, and more. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Levi from Shred Shop, connecting you to skateboarding. Since Etnies was the first ones ever to design a pro skateboard shoe, I need you to subscribe and let us know below what is your favorite pro shoe of all time. Peace!